Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm so glad you've stopped by. Today is part 2 of my Hank & Henry mystery box unboxing. But today is not an unboxing. Today is the Hank & Henry It's a Party Collection eyeshadow palette review. I have 2 out of 3 of the palettes that I got from that mystery box. If you have not seen the mystery box unboxing and you have no clue what I'm talking about, I'll go ahead and link that right up here so you can check it out if you'd like. It's not necessarily necessary to watch the first one if you just want to see the eyeshadow palette review, but if you do want to know everything that I got in that box, that's what's in that video. Now today, I'm going to be reviewing the Hank & Henry Las Hermanas palette. That's why I picked my green shirt and my green background, because there's a green in this palette that I think I want to use. I'm not sure if I want to use it, but I think I do. Wouldn't it be funny if I picked green for everything I don't even use it? Either way, I matched the palette. And that's my point. So we are going to be reviewing this palette completely. I'm also going to be using the Hank & Henry Tiff Time Beauty Sponges, but I'll be doing that off camera because I'm going to be doing my face makeup off camera. But I will come back and let you know what I thought about these after I do use them. And I also might be using the Hank & Henry Lip Aesthetic Matte Liquid Lipsticks, or maybe the Metallic Liquid Lipstick. Probably not, because I don't think blue is really going to go with what I picked today, but we'll find out in the end. Either way, if you want to see everything there is to see about the Las Hermanas palette, and you want to maybe know about the sponges and the lipsticks, and see everything in just a little bit more detail and see part 2 of this series, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. Alright. So as I said already previously, this is the Hank & Henry Las Hermanas palette. This palette goes for a whopping $21 on hankandhenry.com, and installments are available. From $35 to $1,000 of product purchases. I will also try and remember to link this palette down below so you can find it quite easily if you want to, if you end up liking it, if I end up liking it, and you want to get it too. But let's go ahead and open this up and see what it looks like. Here we have the unit carton that the palette comes in. It says Hank & Henry Las Hermanas, and then it says 9 eyeshadow palette on the bottom, and it has those 3 sisters on the front, because if you didn't know, Las Hermanas is the sisters in Spanish, I do believe, anyway. Then if we flip it over, on the back, we have all the ingredients of the palette, or as far as I'm aware, all of the ingredients. And the cruelty-free logo at the bottom, the recyclable packaging logo, I don't know what that one is, and the expiration date, which is 12 months upon open. So now if we slide it out of the sleeve, the palette looks exactly the same. Then if we flip it over, exactly the same. Then if we flip it over and open it, we do have a sleeve on the inside protecting the shades. And that's what the palette looks like. She is so beautiful, so beautiful. That green is just so vibrant. Now that we've seen the palette, let's go ahead and switch over to swatches. First, and this is a real glitter shade, is Ride or Die. And I tapped into it instead of like swirling it around, so I know it's gonna be super chunky like that. There, I kind of swirled it that time. Wow. That is so glittery. Okay, well, that's definitely a glitter, I'd say. Now the shade Everyday. Nice little matte black moment. Then the shade Bestie. The shade Las Hermanas. The shade Endgame. Sissy. I Got You. Thick as Blood. And the shade Bebe. Okay, and that's the entire Hank & Henry Las Hermanas palette. And of course, you guys know, as always, I'm gonna insert photos of the swatches, one with flash here, and one without flash here. And here we have a video close-up of the swatches. Those swatches were astonishing. That purple shade, Ride or Die, is fantastic. So gorgeous. I'm really excited to get into this. Speaking of being really excited to get into this, let's get into this. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes using my P. Louise base. Eyes primed, I'm gonna start with the Morphe M433 brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade I Got You. We're gonna start packing this shade right here in this inner corner. We're not gonna have any fear for this look. We're just gonna go in, it's gonna be colorful and bright and loud, and hopefully it will work when I'm done. Okay, just patting this into the places I want it to be. It's looking pretty good already. That built up super fast. It's very opaque. It didn't take much. Okay, well that was really easy. Now I'm gonna go into the shade Las Hermanas with my Sigma Tapered Blending E35 brush. And with this one, I'm just gonna start packing it right here on the outer corner. Or outer edge, sorry. Right in my crease. And this is really what I want the majority of my look to be, is this bright green color. Because I want to match my shirt, but I also really love blue. So why not add blue? And with this green shade, I'm also going to be pulling it out just a little bit to give me sort of a wing elongated effect. You guys know the drill. If I don't make it round, I make it a wing. And then just making sure that my wing that I made connects up and over. Beautiful, done. Obviously not. But now what I'm going to do is start pulling this green just a little bit inward. So I'm still picking up new pigment, but I'm using circular motions with this big fluffy brush and blending inward and down. So inward and down. And you'll see that that's starting to blend with that blue just a little bit, but instead of it taking over everywhere up in the front, it's going downward and blending in instead of just covering up all the blue that I did. That's why I'm going inward and down, because I love that blue. I don't want it to disappear. Wow, these are blending together like butter, and they're mattes. Now I'm gonna use a little bit more of I Got You and just apply that back in here, but pull it up by the brow. Make sure I don't cover up the green at the bottom. Now I'm gonna take a clean, really fluffy blending brush from Morphe. It is a synthetic bristle brush. It doesn't have a name though, but as long as you have just a big fluffy blending brush, you can do this. And I'm just gonna go in between the green and the blue, back and forth and back and forth, following the same placement I put with the green on the inner corner in the crease, and then pulling it back up and out, back and forth, mixing in a few circular motions just to continue that blending, pulling that green inward because I don't want the blue to take over. I want the green to take over, but I don't want the blue to be gone, if that makes sense. I think there we go. I'm really happy with that. I love how bright both are still. I haven't lost the potency of either one of them, and the green is still the primary focus of color, but blue is still there and it's not lost. Now, I didn't think I was going to, but I am. I'm gonna pull the green all the way up to my brow bone. If I do add anything else to the brow bone later, I'll figure it out when I get there. But for now, I want it to be full saturation, full color payoff, because I'm going there. We are just going there with this palette today. Hashtag no regrets. Okay, what are we thinking? I really like this already. It's just a big, colorful eye. That's it. But that's why I love it. And at this point, it's time for the kind of scary part, or at least the part that I'm kind of worried about, just because I don't know what it's gonna do because I'm really enjoying this. I'm gonna take this really tiny detail blending brush. It's also a Morphe brush. It's just, I don't know, it's really small. It's tiny. I don't know what it's called. And I'm gonna go into Thick as Blood. I'm gonna start by using this on my outer corner to deepen up the green on the outer crease, but I'm gonna pull it all the way in to my inner corner very slowly and very thinly, meaning I'm going to apply the most pressure out here on the outer edge to blend it in, and then as I pull inward, I'm gonna start applying much less pressure and pulling my brush away and holding it at the angle that keeps the taper at its lightest, softest point, just so I don't pull the dark blue too far in. I want it to be a super thin line of dark blue in the front, then much bigger out here. And if you're following this for any kind of like tutorial advice or advice in general, you know, take things with a grain of salt. You have to take what you can from people when it comes to like tips and tricks and do the thing that works for you. because everybody's eye shape is different, everybody's preferences are different. I just say the things that I've experienced, that I've learned on myself along the way, or working on any clients along the way, that I think that might be helpful to anyone. But it's not like you have to do anything I say. I just want to say it to help you out if you want the help. And honestly, at this point, I don't think I could film a review of anything without giving a tutorial with it, because it's just habit at this point. I even do that at school now. I started picking up, actually, somebody else was listening to me talk to my client while I was cutting their hair, and I was like, okay, now we're gonna put this part to the right side so that we can feather out the left side with the razor comb. And then she was sitting over there laughing at me, and I was like, why are you laughing at me? She was like, because you're giving directions as you're doing your hair. She's not ever gonna do her hair like that. She's not ever gonna cut her hair like that. And I was like, you know, you're right. I don't mean to, I just do it. I just instinctively want to be helpful. It's what's in my brain. I don't know, don't judge me. This blue is really pretty, and it's mixing with that green, so it's turning into like this deep turquoisey aqua beautifulness. I'm not having a whole lot of success at pulling it into this inner corner just because I'm so scared. Working a little bit, but I'm just scared. I'm being paranoid. You know what? Actually, that's enough. You see how I have this kind of curve right here? That is enough of thick as blood pulled into the inner corner, I think. I don't know. I am planning on cutting the crease though, so maybe it won't be in the end, but for now it's good. Now I have to make sure that I pull the shade thick as blood up above my hooded lid, because it will be invisible if I don't. Are we there yet? Not yet. Almost though. Gotta go a little bit higher here. Now? Yes, now we're there. Okay, so now since I've discovered where my crease cuts, I'm gonna keep the hardest line right there and just start blending it out. After I pull thick as blood out into the wing shape, just like everything else is. Obviously, as you can see, I now have thick as blood built up into the deeper portion of my crease, the lower portion of my crease, but I quite obviously have a very sharp line where that is. It literally looks like I have a shadow across my eye. So now what I'm gonna do is take my Sigma E35 again, the same brush that I used in Las Hermanas previously, go back into Las Hermanas, and now I'm going to start applying that shade with no excess powder on the brush, and using circular motions and blending downward, just barely, over and over and over. This should be where all the magic happens when it comes to the blend of the look. Ooh, actually, I'm starting to get too much thick as blood on this brush, so I'm gonna have to be really, really careful, because I started turning the upper area deep blue as well, and I don't wanna do that. So now what I'm gonna do is go back in with the teeny tiny little brush that I used with thick as blood, not picking up any more product, and I'm just gonna start using tiny little circular motions right at the edge of thick as blood, just to start blending it out, even more than what it is currently. I see a tiny little patch of green right here where it doesn't have blue coverage and it doesn't have thick as blood coverage, the deep blue. So I actually am gonna take thick as blood on the tiniest part of the taper of this brush and just pop it right in here and pull it down. I know I said I wasn't gonna do this. I'm really scared at what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna do it. Right on the inner corner. Yay, nothing bad happened. Woohoo! Okay, and I actually prefer that, because now it looks like my eye is even bigger. You guys know I love making my eye look bigger. That's just, I don't know, that's the whole point of shading to me, is to make my eye look bigger. It's so neat because thick as blood blended with the light blue makes, of course, just a deeper blue, but blended with this green, it makes the most beautiful turquoise, an under the sea, deep, oceany blue, and I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. There's still a little bit of a harsh edge right here though, and I can't get rid of it. But I've got to be really, really careful that I don't overblend, because then I'll start getting patches from taking up my eyeshadow base. Okay, well, I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop blending that because it's actually acceptable. I pretty much really like it. It's really neat, actually. I'm really excited about that. That's so cool. Okay, let's clean up the edge and see what this looks like once it's kind of nice and even. Oh, I love this so much. Ooh, I don't know that I've ever used any shade like this. I don't know how I'm gonna randomly mix the same shade on the other eye. Just gotta hope for the best though. With everything cleaned up and blended out and nice and orderly, I'm gonna use this Morphe brush, which is like a flat shader brush, kind of like a packing brush still. And I'm gonna go into the shade Everyday, which is very, very black. So I'm gonna be careful with it, and I'm going to put it on my outer lid area, so like my outer V. And I'm not cutting my crease for this because I actually want the black to mix with some of that blue so that it doesn't end up being quite as saturated of a black. And this brush is perfect for this because I can get right up here in the crease area to make that V shape, but I can still pack down the color on the outer lid, and I can still go in on the lash line and make this part of the V shape. Plus, with the inner corner, I can still get right in here. And with this black shade, I'm essentially cutting out my crease with it, just much softer than what a cut crease would be. I'm just deepening it enough that it does kind of show my lid, and it makes my lid a separate entity of the look. So like that. And I'm also pulling the black into the V shape, just like I did on the outer corner. That way I have this big, beautiful circle right in the middle of my lid. And then for me here, since I don't want it to be primarily black up at the top, I just wanted it mainly to cut out the crease. I'm gonna use the little tiny blending brush again and back into the same shade, Thick as Blood. And I'm just gonna lightly, very, very lightly, go around the edges of this crease just to add that blue back in so the black doesn't take over too much. Just kind of buffing out the edges of the black that I made. That way it's not so harsh. And there, we're back to the soft blend that the crease had before, but we still have the definition around the lid. Now with all of that shaped and cleaned, I'm gonna go in with my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eyeliner Pencil in the shade Perversion, and I'm gonna start putting this all over the lid where I still have empty space. What I'm hoping this is gonna do is give me a nice, clean, semi-tacky base to start putting all this glitter on top of. And then using the JS13 really small pencil brush, I'm gonna go right along this edge of this liner and just make sure it doesn't look so rough. My main goal with this liner, aside from the obvious fact of getting it to be tacky so that the glitter will stick to it, is to really make the glitter stand out as much as it possibly can. Usually using a black shade underneath something that's either really shiny and iridescent or a glitter typically will help it be even more whatever it is. So if it's shiny, be more shiny. If it's duochrome, be more duochrome. You're picking up what I'm putting down. Okay, well this isn't working at all, but that's okay. I don't really need it to, not as long as I do a good job. And now, moment of truth. Gonna take this flat packing brush. I don't know what kind of brush it is. I think it came from Beaky Blender though. And now I'm gonna go into the shade Ride or Die. And with this, I'm gonna just start packing it on. Oh wow, oh my gosh. Ooh, look at her. Oh, she is stunning. I'm so glad I put that black down. That looks so good with black as a background. Done with the purple. I'll admit, I got a little carried away. I was supposed to only keep it right on the center of the lid, but I obviously took it everywhere on the lid. Inner corner, outer corner, center, top, bottom, left, right, whatever. So what I need to do now, which I was gonna do anyway, I was just planning on having more room to do it. I'm gonna go back in with the shade Day, back in with the same flat brush, and just pack that black on the outer and inner corner. I'm doing this to blend my lid into my crease because I don't want my lid to be completely disconnected from everything, and it's hard to do that whenever you add glitter sometimes because glitter is so much more than a matte shade is. So this is my version of pulling it back together. So I'm patting the matte black right on top of that purple, and that should tone it down just a tad to get it to blend into the crease. Should. No guarantee. Yeah, that's working. This purple shade is so cool. It's got little pink glittery reflex in it, but it's also got purpley glittery reflex in it. It's just really awesome. And I'm really glad I picked it. I really like it. Now for the next most exciting part. That means we've had 3 most exciting things happen. The bright blue, the glitter, and now this. Now, I don't know for sure this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try it. I want to incorporate the shade Sissy somehow, and the only way that I can see that happening now is as a liner. So I think a really bright orange liner across the lash line would be so cool with this look. I would have my blue, I would have my green, I would have my purple, and I would have my bright orange. However, I do not think I'm gonna be able to get the powder Sissy by itself to be able to lay over all of this. So I think what I'm gonna do is take my Jeffree Star Velour Liquid Lipstick in the shade Flamethrower and first create a wing and then set that wing with the shade Sissy so that I have a base of orange, but then I can have the tone of Sissy, which is a little bit of a brighter tone of orange. Now this is gonna take me a minute, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start taking the Flamethrower shade and putting it out of my palette, mixing it around so I can make it nice and smooth, and then I'll apply it. After much painstaking effort, the wing is done. However, if you are to do this the exact same way I just tried to do it, I would recommend checking the life of your Velour Liquid Lipstick, maybe like on your arm or your hand with the brush first or something, because I didn't realize that mine was kind of dried out, which I've had it for a really long time, so I should have realized that. Either way, I would check it, make sure it's not chunky and kind of dry, because mine was, and from far away this looks great. If you were to zoom in and look at this, you would see that it's kind of crusty and kind of gross, and it makes me sad. But it's an orange wing, and that's what I wanted. However, I am going to try on this side with a couple of different ingredients. The reason why I used the Velour Liquid Lipstick in the shade Flamethrower is because I don't have an orange gel liner. I have a red and yellow, but not an orange. And I know I can mix the red and yellow and create orange, but I was thinking if I already have an orange, and Jeffree's Velour Liquid Lipsticks are perfect for liners anyway. I've used them before and they've been perfect. I figure why not just go in with the orange one. However, I digress. When I do the other side, I'm just gonna mix this red and yellow Colourpop cream gel liner and see if I can make that same color orange and do it that way instead. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that before I moved on so I didn't forget by the time I got to it. Next, I'm going to use this Colourpop cream gel liner, but it's in pencil form and it's in the shade UNTZ. It's almost rubbed off completely, but I'm using this shade in my waterline. This is gonna be so cool because it's gonna tie the orange with the wing into the orange in the lower lash line. Man, I'm so disappointed in that wing. If there was a way for me to go in and take off just the wing and do it again, I would, but there's not without destroying everything and having to start all over, and I am just not in the mood to do that tonight. Okay, I do believe my waterline is full of ounce now, if that's what you want to call it. Whatever it's called, UNTZ, ounce. I like both of them. And I really like the way this is coming along. Like a lot. We have the blue-green with the purple, with the orange wing. Ugh. I just love it. Okay, now the next thing we're gonna need to do is move on to the lower lash line. But before we do that, I need to go ahead and finish my concealer, which means I need to go ahead and finish my face makeup. I also need to duplicate this onto this eye. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all of those things off camera. I'll pretty much get everything done. I'll probably even get the lashes applied. And when I come back, we'll finish off the lower lash line and I'll give my final thoughts on the Hank & Henry Las Hermanas eyeshadow palette. So I will see you in just a second. Got my face makeup completely applied, so now that's done and over with. So now we need to go in with the lower lash line. And for that, I really think I want to follow the crease colors and just bring those to the bottom so it kind of ties the whole look together. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to start with the JS12 Morphe X Jeffree Star Brush, and I'm going into the shade I Got You again. And with this one, slowly and not overzealously, I'm going to start building it up right here in the inner corner. And just start to pull it outward. Now using this Beauty 360 detail brush or inner corner highlight brush, whatever you'd like to call it, I'm gonna go back into the shade Las Hermanas and start running that against the lower lash line toward the middle. Okay. Perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. And now, the very last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this big fluffy Alamar blending brush and I'm just going to go in and I'm going to start smoking out all these shades on the lower lash line and on the inner corner right here. So this blue, I'm just going to start blowing it out really big. I don't want it to have a precise or concise line at all. I just want it to be big and blown out. Then the same thing on the outer edge. Just gonna do that right over here. I just don't want it to be as harsh of a line is all. Okay, and there we have it. That is what I want it to look like in the end. So now I'm gonna do that exact same thing over here. Now the lower lash line is completely smoked. We have smoked that lower lash line. I mean, it is smoky too. But that's what I wanted. I'm feeling like a little abstract-y moment, you know? It's colorful, it's bright. I just wanted to go there and do it different, and I did. Now, really quick, I need to do my brows because I forgot to do them. Whew, okay, brows are done. I feel much better about my life at this point. So now I'm gonna go in with my Milk Makeup Kush Mascara on my lower lashes. That's what I used on my top lashes as well. I got a sample today while I was at Sephora, so I thought I'd try it during this video. I'd say it definitely makes them cushy, that's for sure. They have some vavoom now. Now I need to finish off this face with a lip, and I am gonna choose one of the Hank & Henry lipsticks. I have a feeling it's gonna be Pookie, the one that I thought said Poopy, even though it's not. Either Pookie or Trash Panda, most likely. Let's see, red, definitely not. Can't do the red. Can't do the red. There's no way. Well, maybe in like its own weird way that might be really cute. But no, blue, definitely not for this look. It's a little purpley. Yeah, I feel like this is it. I do. Oh, these smell so good. I just want to apply these to smell them. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Is that chocolate cake? Maybe that's what it is. Okay, lips are done. Mainly because I feel like if I don't stop going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with just the different edges and the left side being bigger than the right side and then one side looking a little bit skewed, and then if I don't stop doing that, I'm gonna be doing this for forever. It's already probably been like 15 or 20 minutes, I don't even know. But either way, I'm done. And this is the final look. What do you guys think? I think this is one of the coolest colorful looks I've done in quite a while. I like that it has some bright pops of color, but I also like that it has some kind of dingy darkness to it that can make the bright colors pop even more. I think that makes it a lot more fun. But the main point to all of that is I would be able to do nothing of it without the help of the Hank & Henry Las Hermanas 9-pan eyeshadow palette. I would definitely say for sure 100% get this palette if you like bold colors and you haven't tried Hank & Henry before. This is beautiful. It's got such an interesting color story and the quality is sublime. It's a great price for a 9-pan palette and the glitter that's in here is amazing. I didn't need a glitter glue, I just used an eyeliner as a base and I barely have any fallout from it. It's not like falling everywhere all over my face like a lot of the glitters that I use. So I gotta say, personally, I love it. I love it a lot. So I wanna know what you guys think. Do you like the palette? Do you like the look? Do you like the colors? I know it's not some people's cup of tea, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be. It is definitely its own color story. That's no doubt. And with that, guys, that concludes this video and this review. I hope you guys enjoyed the part 2 of this 3-part series of the Hank & Henry mystery box unboxing. If you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It does let me know that you like this content. It also lets others know that you like this content. Also, if you want to see this look or any looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this, and that is to always remember and never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye.